Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
Well, that's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam, and you all know my co-host Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
So good. Episode 129.
Yeah. This is not a milestone episode or anything, so I guess we're just gonna phone it in. Is that the plan?
Well, you know, we'll put our best foot forward, best feet forward. We both have 2 feet, but I'm not going to be ableist here.
You don't know that. You haven't seen me in a while.
I haven't seen you in a while. I may see you in a month or so, but we'll talk about that later on. And also, we should talk about that personally, if that's going to happen or
I was
not.
going to say, this might be news to me. I don't know.
I'm coming to Florida in May.
All right. Well, I'm busy. Sorry.
Hey, you know,
All month.
That's all right. Jordan, you know, no one that listens to this is in Milwaukee, so I won't worry about dating it. But big blizzard here today, and this is after having like 70-degree temperatures the last week or so, or a couple days. So I'm feeling a little disheartened, and frankly, I'm kind of happy to have home improvement to talk about because I think it might get me in a better mood.
Yeah, something to take your blues away.
Yeah, because I had big plan. I was going to walk up to Pfizer, doing some special Bucks playoff stuff outside the stadium. I was excited, and it's just too snowy out, unfortunately. So yeah.
On the other end of the spectrum here, it's like 90 and sunny.
I always thought you were a coward for running to Florida, but now I'm beginning to wonder if maybe you knew something I didn't all along.
I think you probably knew that Florida was warm. You might be selling yourself short.
I thought you just liked oranges.
Well, you'd be surprised at the lack of oranges around here now, but what are you going to do?
Oh, man, tell me more about that, but not this episode. And maybe, let's tease it for 139.
I bet you in some episode they're going to mention oranges.
And then when they do, we'll come back to this. All right.
And if they don't, it's not, it's not meant to be.
All right, home and podcast listeners, go ahead and put that in your notebook for a rainy day. All right, go ahead and remind us.
Is there anyone who has a notebook who's writing things down? If you are...
I want to see it.
for sure, and I want to know what you're writing.
If you are, I'll comp you for it.
Adam, I wanted to bring up a segment that a dear friend of ours...
A segment?
Well, we always have segments.
Yeah.
Legal Eagle, in honor of Dan.
Yeah.
So we've heard a few times from Carmen Finestra and I think a couple of the actors.
Yeah.
Maybe Billy Reback mentioned this too, about the contentious nature between home improvement creator, production studio Wind Dancer, and Disney, and the legal problems there. And we've got an update.
Yeah. Hot off the presses. Extra. Read all about it.
Read all about it. This is on...
Do you think Randy wrote this story? Because he is going to be a journalist in this week's episode. No,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. Carry on.
Spoiler alert.
Worth it, though, to get that in there.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
So we found this on cinemablend.com. I think it was originally reported on The Hollywood Reporter, but the title of the article, written by Gina Carbone, says home improvement creators' $40 million lawsuit against Disney is finally moving forward. So looks like we got some traction.
I actually read it on Country Living. The title of the article was LOL, you won't believe what Wind Dancer's up to now. LOL. Emoji face.
LOL. Brand new legal lawsuit. Just...
But they're reporting on the one from 1995 or something?
Yeah, the original one.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead. I have so many good bits, I just have to keep interrupting you.
I know. It's all right. I appreciate it. So, they're, the $40 million, it says without interest, so I guess that's pretty generous of Wind Dancer.
Does that mean... What does that mean? I assume that meant that the $40 million figure was something they came to, and then they'll add interest later on, so it'll end up being higher, or is that wrong?
Oh, I think I thought they were just coming with like a flat number to try to, meet somewhere in the middle.
Sure.
There's a little bit of discussion here about whether it should be decided by a judge or a jury, with each side having a preference. But mostly this relationship, as we've maybe discussed a little bit before, is the Wind Dancer production group does not believe they were fairly compensated for profits from the show, for syndication,
Yeah.
for all that types of stuff. So we're moving forward. There's going to be, it looks like, a jury that's going to be seeing it. A trial date has been set for June 3rd. So
Wow.
coming
Yeah.
up in a couple months here, and we'll see what the judge does going forward. Is it going to be trial by bench or trial by jury, trial by fire? We know it'll be that for sure.
This is pretty interesting because we have been hearing about this for, pretty much since we started the podcast. I think we've been reading and hearing about this. So to see it play out in real time will be interesting. And I suspect, I kind of wonder, how certain is it that it's going to go to trial? There's no chance that they're just going to settle. We're kind of past that point.
It just seems unlikely if
I
it
guess
came
it is.
this far.
Yeah.
But it seems like someone else is going to have to make the decision, either jury or judge. But
Sure.
it looks like in this article they were talking about how the show Bones, which is one of your favorites.
They used to call me Bones, actually.
Adam Bones. So they recently had a similar lawsuit, and the creative team for Bones won quite a bit of money out of Fox. So
yeah, well, that's dirty business. You gotta pay your talent. These big corporate companies are just they can be dirty.
I heard that Disney is in trouble. They're just not making enough money. So
yeah, it's like, come on, guys, you can't pay these guys their fair due. You're making $1 billion off of Iron Man 4 and all that crap, Jordan. I mean, come on, get real. Get real. Iron Man 4? No, that's not going to happen.
Did you see the lineup for the Disney streaming service that's coming out in November?
Well, I saw the at Home Improvement Reunion Twitter page. They took Bob Iger. Is that his name, Bob Iger?
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, they took his tweet and they said, "Yeah, where's the friggin' Home Improvement content on the picture?" I was like, yeah, that's not going to be a priority for them. They got like the Mandalorian or the stuff. Like they have like actual but that was funny. That was a funny response. They were like, yeah, why don't you have Home Improvement on there? Come on.
Yeah, well, Disney owns the controlling stake in Hulu too, so it's already available on something for them. So
I don't know if I knew that. That's interesting.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know that it's 100% owned by them, but I think they own 51% or whatever or more.
Now, is this service? Would this be something that you would be interested in? I'll say that I won't be getting it probably. But what about you?
I had questions about what was going to be on there, but I read an article with all the stuff that's on there. It has a lot of initially when it comes out, a lot of the backlog of the cartoon stuff, which would be good for kids. And then it has a lot more Marvel movie stuff than I thought. So they're gonna have a Loki movie. They're gonna have some other stuff related to that.
That is strictly on the service. This Loki movie is not gonna go to theaters then.
Yes. Yep. And there's gonna be a couple other movies like that with the girl who plays the Scarlet Witch.
I'm not a big Loki fan, but
he's obviously has
a lot of people call him LOL Loki because he's so funny.
Well,
in those movies.
That's only you, I think.
Because he's always like, oh man, you think Loki's gone, he comes back. Well, I guess
I didn't answer, I guess.
Yeah,
but
sorry. What do you get?
It's $6.99. I would, and then they also have some other behind the scenes Disney Imagineer stuff that I would be interested in. So I would say yes.
Are they pulling other stuff from Netflix and will they be pulling their?
I think eventually they will be
phase it out as fast as they can.
Yeah, they're going to be, they have contracts and stuff in place for that. But I think initially what comes out is going to be the most recent Pixar stuff. I think Captain Marvel, the most recent Avengers movies, the Star Wars, all the Star Wars movies will be on there, and then the new stuff that you talked about. And there's a few new series that they're creating, like a Monsters Inc. series and stuff. So,
I heard about that. Billy Crystal and Goodman are coming back.
So lots and lots of stuff on there. I'm interested. I'd
be interested in the Star Wars TV show. I think that there's some cool people in that. That sounds kind of good.
Yeah, and they're doing a bunch of side projects with that too. So
sounds friggin' trill. The Loki movie. I think you call it Loki, and he's a stand-up comedian in New York.
I thought you were saying low key, LOWKEY.
No, Lolki, LOLKI, or however you spell it. It's like Miss Maisel era 50s New York. I don't know if there's time travel in that universe. I assume you can, and he's just trying to, bootstrap mentality, trying to make it in the circuit. Sounds like a cool idea.
Sounds like a cool idea.
Back to the article at hand. I'm rooting for these home improvement guys. Hope they get their money out of Disney.
We will keep everyone informed. So that's hot off the presses.
We should call Carmen and get his weekly updates from him.
He probably can't say anything, but yeah, we should. You're right.
He seems like the kind of guy that might want to hear himself talk a little bit, so I don't think it would be that much arm twisting involved to get him to talk about his own life.
Hey, man, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, man.
I'll let you follow up on that one.
Sure thing.
All right, that's this week's edition of Legal Eagle, and with that, we're gonna move on to the episode. Unless you have anything else to talk about. Do you want to tease a couple other things that we want to talk about in the future?
Cool. Yeah.
Baseball season.
Yeah, Jordan wants to. You explain that one.
You pin it. I like that you pin it on me. It's baseball season. I haven't been watching much, but I know you are. You're a big Tigers fan. We're both Tigers fans. So we were thinking about fielding a home improvement baseball team. What position would each player play? Where would they be in the batting order? Yeah. It's gonna be a lot of thought and dedication to something that is really not worth our time. But we're gonna do it anyways because
I got
that's
a
why we're
spoiler
here.
for everybody. Mark's batting last and he's playing left field.
I thought he was batting cleanup.
Because then you need to clean him up after he craps himself. What does that mean? All right, we're going to edit that out. Okay, my idea is recasting Home Improvement with current television actors that are age appropriate, maybe film actors as well.
So we're going to make the audience vote, and they have to choose one.
Oh, good idea. Yeah, we'll each bring 2 to the table, and then we'll do a million polls. That's great content.
The other one will be only on Patreon.
Yeah, I already know who my owl's going to be. The other one's not going to be on Patreon. Means no one's going to hear it.
Trying to milk this cash cow dry, just like Disney.
So much money. Yeah, there's so much money in that. Yeah, Wind Dancer's going to be suing us next. You better be careful.
Yeah, all right. Well, let's move into the episode then. Maybe if we talk generously about Workshop Till You Drop, they'll treat us kindly. So
yeah, I don't know if I can, but I'll try.
All right, episode 129, Workshop Till You Drop, written by Charlie Hawk.
Hawk.
Yeah, this is, I think, his second one. Alarmed by Burglars was the first one. If you recall those people popping up and all the alarms going off and Brad trying to cheat off of Jason.
Yeah, that was bad. Scary.
Yeah, it was bad.
Kind of scary ending.
Super scary.
Makes you think.
Aired on October 1st, 1996. That's about it there's no trivia or notes, I believe. So let's talk about alternative titles. I have 3 really poor ones.
I have 3 as well. I had a tough time.
I also had a tough time. So I'll lead off here.
Sounds good.
Broken Hearted Bud.
Okay, not bad. My first one is Mission Critical.
Mission Critical.
She's critical. I don't know. Mission Critical is like, I don't know. You hear it sometimes. I don't have a lot of. I don't.
Yeah,
feel
I have
very
one
strongly about it.
I have one very similar to that, so I'll share that now. Great Expectations.
That's a good one. All right. Here's my next one. Leave me a scone.
That's for sure the best one. I don't even have to say my last one to know it. Okay. Ladlegate.
Well, I mean, in the title, it's in the episode, but yeah,
I know.
Sure. You did have a tough time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
All right, my last one, and I've workshopped this one with Kirsten, and she
didn't like it at all.
She was receptive.
Okay.
Extra, Rand all about it. Randy. Rand all about it.
Well, your girlfriend's very kind. I'll say that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I just made some coffee, so I think she was feeling generous. But
right.
Yeah, that's it.
She didn't want you to burn the coffee or anything. Okay. All right.
Clearly, you don't understand how coffee making works.
I've had 0 coffee in my whole life.
Isn't it bad when coffee's burned? Oh, I hate that.
It's the worst.
You leave it on the pot too long, and it gets
It's
burned.
the worst.
Interestingly enough, let me go first, and then you go. Workshop Till You Drop. They're going to do an episode in like 3 years called Do-Op Till You Drop. So they're going to kind of repeat this.
Well, we never do that on our alternative titles.
Nope.
So.
All right, now your turn. Beat that.
I was going to say, I have poured 1 cup of coffee in my whole life. And it was for this person came in for an interview, and I went and I was in the front. I was at the front desk, and I was like, "Do you want a coffee?" And no one ever says yes. They're like, "No, I'm fine." He said yes, so I had to go back there, and I didn't ask him any questions. I just took the
And you kind of felt like you were being interviewed because you were so nervous to pour this cup. Your hand was shaking.
I was like, oh no, why did I even ask? I should have just offered water. So I got the I got the coffee, poured it in there. I thought, I feel like in movies they do some cream and a little bit of sugar. So I did that.
Okay.
And brought it back. And he was like, wow, how'd you know that I like my coffee this way?
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
And you said because that's just how everybody would have it.
I said, I just knew it. Did
that person get the job, or did they like? I don't know. Did you never see him again?
I don't remember. But I'm assuming they just said that because they wanted to win my favor. You know?
That man became my boss.
So that's the story of the only cup of coffee I've ever poured.
It's funny that you know. Not only do you not drink coffee, you don't even seem to really understand how it works.
It's a very confusing concept.
That's the wrinkle that I don't quite follow. But okay, well that was a good story. Yeah.
You know, I only have so much space up in my head, and I don't want to devote it to coffee. So
yeah, not enough space, I say. All right, you start.
All right, open at home. We've got the boys. Randy comes in, and we get the news that extra, Randy gets to write for the school paper. And we learned that Jill did the same thing back in her day. I don't think anyone's surprised by that. But there's some jokes here about how back in her day they had to do it by pigeon or something like that. So,
yeah, good stuff. Yeah.
Jill's real old. Brad says, first story. I got your first scoop. Let's do the Brad story. All about Brad. He kind of turns that off. I kind of think that, I don't know.
That would be a good story. Brad really kind of,
he seems popular.
He was popular, and he was going down the wrong path for a while, and he seems to really have course corrected. So I think there might be something to that.
That might be a good human interest story, but he neglects that, and then Mark slides in and he says, "What about me?" And then I think Randy just punched him in the face. Is that what happened?
Mark came in, crapped his pants, had to clean him up. Yeah. No, there's like a joke where it's like the joke is that's not even a line, that's a question mark. It was weird. I didn't really get the joke, but there's question mark at the end of it, which was strange.
I think it was supposed to be Mark question mark.
Yeah, it could have benefited from maybe another watch of this episode, but it's all right.
I personally think it would have been worse for us.
Randy's shirt is he has just a massive collar on his shirt, it's like a
I did not notice.
70s style shirt with a really pointy collar. It would remind you of I don't know, something out of Saturday Night Fever or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I did not notice that. So, good luck, I guess. Tim comes home. Here's the news. And Tim thinks that Randy got a job. Job.
Well, that's the funny thing is that he thinks it's that very same job, right?
Yeah, he thinks it's the delivering papers that Brad did a while ago. So, he doesn't quite understand the writing for the paper type of thing. But he does get very excited. He's talking about the bike they're going to get and all this kind of stuff. And then he's kind of let down and he still wants to get the bike. So
I was disappointed. I thought and I'm sure you felt the same way. Hope we were going to get more out of his journalism career in this episode. We don't really get much out of it. But I was also excited to have the opportunity to talk about gotcha journalism.
Oh man, it's been a while. So
yeah, it's been a long time, but I really can't because they don't go into it deep enough. So.
Well, I think this might be one of those times where they're planting a seed, and we might see it a little bit later. So yeah,
I hope so. I'm gonna say you maybe. Did you ever write for any kind of school paper?
No. Were you gonna say that I did?
No, I was going to guess that you hadn't, but sometimes there's things about you I don't know, like your coffee pouring story. I assumed you'd have done that at least 3 times, but
nope, that's it, the one and only. So, no paper writing for me. I know everything about you, and I know you didn't. So
I did.
Dang it!
I'm sorry to disappoint you. I did one like elementary school, and then I wrote one story for my college newspaper, the Western Herald.
Wait, hold on. They have an elementary school?
Yeah, Seipel had one.
Wow, Seipel is
I think
bit more advanced.
Kyle Bro's mom wrote a lot of the articles.
Okay. Well, I gotta give Seipel some credit. I thought you guys were a little bit different.
Everybody thought we were podunk out there. Next thing you know, we're inventing yellow journalism.
Country bumpkins, but you're doing some hard-nosed journalism.
I'll tell you what, we're getting to the bottom of what is it? Walt crawlers at the corner of M15 and Coldwater.
Well, I'm not surprised that you did it in college.
Yeah, it was just one article, and it was about how much I like garage sales. It was just kind of an op-ed.
How'd you get into that?
I was just really surprised they published it. One of the girls that worked for the paper played on my co-rec flag football team.
Oh, and they were looking for content, so they came right to you.
Yeah, naturally, it's the first place you go to when you're looking for content.
And you get good stuff like garage sale.
You get like
articles,
how much I like garage sales. One and done.
So can I find that online, or is that just in print only?
I bet you could. I'd say go ahead and don't. If I were you, but I could set it up for you. You've read a lot of my writing. I think you get it.
Yeah, it's probably very like introspective. And,
sure. Yeah.
It's you somehow connect garage sales to the meaning of life. So
yeah, exactly right.
Pretty impressive. So all right, well, interesting. If we do find it, we'll post it on Twitter, right?
Sure. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Don't make any promises you can't keep.
I'm not gonna say for sure. Well, I'd have to read it first, but.
All right. At home later, Randy comes in. Tim is there. Randy has his first scoop, his first story. And it's Ladlegate. The lunch lady is serving a vegetarian meal with a contaminated ladle. Sounds fishy.
Yeah. It's cross-contamination. I didn't know that was on people's radar back in 1996, but yeah.
How many vegetarians do you think there are at his high school?
I mean, if the graduating class is, let's say, 200, I'm guessing like 5 maybe total.
Yeah, well, they have a whole meal dedicated to him, so there you go.
They keep legally have to. But
yeah, Jill comes in. She's wondering if Tim has any plans on Sunday because there's an all-day couples therapy workshop that she'd love to go to. Tim initially says that he doesn't have any plans, but then changes his tune once he hears what the plans would be if Jill got to pick them.
Right.
And Jill does this thing where I think we've seen this before, but she tricked him and said, "Oh, it's actually on Saturday, and you're free that day." So Jill says, we got to go to therapy. It's just like car maintenance. You prevent things from going wrong by doing routine maintenance. And Tim tries to get out of it. He says, go on your own. But I think he's going to have to go.
I know he's going to have to go because I watched
Otherwise, it's going to be a weird episode.
It's going to be boring. Sitting at home. All right,
I'll let you take tool time because it's your favorite part.
I love this part, yeah. Tool time. Maintaining tools in the workshop, Jordan.
Tool maintenance, convenient.
Yeah, we're talking about, pretty much what you'd expect. They're going through. They got a bunch of different tools, and they're talking about how to maintain them. There's a mention of is it a bar? What's the terminology? It's something bar. You know what I'm talking about? There's like a joke. My notes are bad, but it was like, whatever. Never mind.
I remember the nomadic tool joke instead of pneumatic.
Well, they mentioned a bar called the Pig's Knuckle in Traverse City, and I wondered.
Yes.
I wondered if that was real or not. Did you come to any conclusions on that?
I did not look that up, but I can look it up right now. It sounds like a terrible name for a bar.
I'm looking here.
Oh, it looks like it is.
Pig Knuckles, and must be. Maybe it's a spot that Tim Allen actually likes. Yeah, it has a Yelp. Yeah, it's real. Wow, we got to get up there. Well, anyways,
we gotta get up there.
We gotta get up there. You love bars. The scene goes on. Tim is putting some oil in. Looked like a drill to me. Could have been something else. But he over oils, and the very oil that we've just mentioned goes all over Al's shirt.
Oh man, that's gonna come back later too.
Not really though. only they're gonna mention it again.
Yeah, they make a joke about fixing Al's spare tire next. So.
Oh yeah, that's just mean.
Al's getting the brunt here.
I know. Well, and Al he needs some therapy of his own. Next scene after the show, Bud is he's sitting on the side and he's very somber. Come to find out, Jordy's getting a divorce.
No! Broken-hearted Bud.
We just saw him going bowling not that long ago.
Yeah. Jean is no longer his lover.
No. We don't really find out why. Just that he maybe wasn't that great of a husband.
Yeah, I think it was like communication. That was the big thing that he mentioned, so.
Bud is very rich, and we find out how rich he is because he mentions having like servants and so on, which surprised me.
18-room mansion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't know he had so much money. I didn't know Binford pockets were so deep. He's in a tough way, and he's actually in such a tough way that when Al comes over, he asks Al what he and his mother are doing that very evening, and I think they're going to play bingo. And Bud decides he wants to join him because he's just so alone and kind of destitute.
Poor guy. Yeah, and he does mention here, too, that he should have been more open-minded when she wanted to get help. So that, that really leads to Tim thinking, uh-oh, I guess I should go.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought the asking to hang out with Al's mother was kind of funny.
Yeah, I think it worked well. They've been building up to it for a while.
Yeah. So yeah.
At the workshop, Jill runs into a friend, must be from class, and she's done a few of these before, and her husband is Howie, who we'll see quite a bit of, and so he's done great, but he sobs like a baby, and so we'll see that a few times. And Tim is a little bit nervous, as I suppose you would be if you've never done something like this, and Jill says, just be open and honest, and Tim, in response, writes Al on his name tag, which, again, I thought that was a pretty clever little joke.
Not bad. I want to talk about Howie. Howard is played by Sherman Howard, Jordan. They used his real name.
Wow.
And
Sherman. Hercules. Come on, Cletus. Come on, Cletus.
You just like doing that because it's close to your grandpa character, which, by the way, is a lot better than the Home Improvement grandpa characters.
That's
right. So this guy, 114 credits to his name, but some notable ones, Jordan. This guy is in a Seinfeld episode, and I remembered it as soon as I saw it. He plays Roy, who is Elaine's boyfriend, and makes art out of triangles.
Yeah.
George buys a bunch of the art, and then the guy gets sick, and I don't know, the art ends up being useless, but that's that guy. I like him in that. And here's an even more interesting one. He's in the Stand miniseries, which I quite like, and obviously a big Stephen King fan, playing a character named Dr. Dietz.
Whoa, that's too close for comfort for me.
No, isn't that freaky, Dr. Dietz? He's also in Lethal Weapon 2 and Day of the Dead. But Howie, he cries a lot. I guess he's funny. I don't know. It's all right.
Maybe one cry too many for me.
Maybe they went to the well too many times, but that's not how... I mean, I like him because, shares my namesake, but yeah, it's... they do cry. They do cry a lot.
Shares my namesake.
Yeah.
Yeah. No wonder you like... You were telling me before, Howie's going to be your season MVP and stuff, and I was wondering why.
Howard, I almost named the title Howard's End after another episode.
We should have. That would have been better than some of the ones we came up with.
I know. I don't know if you mentioned him yet, but I'll just do it now because we're kind of pausing. But the group leader is Dr. Emery, played by Jim Jansen. This guy I thought was very familiar. I don't know if you felt that way as well.
Yeah.
A lot of credits, 130. Water for Elephants film, Gilmore Girls, Death Becomes Her, AI Artificial Intelligence. A lot of TV shows. I couldn't find one that necessarily stood out for knowing him for that role, but this guy is a very, very familiar face, I would say. So, was
he in Friends? Did it say that? Because I feel like that's where I saw him. But
I'm getting down here. Did you say Murder by Numbers? Oh, you said Friends. Okay. I don't see Miracle in Lane 2, which is the Frankie Muniz soapbox derby movie. That's a good one. We should do a Patreon on that. Hey, he's in some step-by-step episodes. No, I don't see Friends. Sorry.
All right, well, I guess sometimes you're wrong. Later...
Sometimes you're wrong.
Later, workshop is underway. They do this exercise that's something you might not know about me to try to get them to open up a little bit. Tim gets to go first, and he redirects right away, and he's still feeling uncomfortable. And Jill apologizes for him. He says he's a newbie, and she's the grad student. And Dr. Emery says, yeah, you wrote all about that in your application. And so he already is kind of off on the wrong foot with Jill at this point.
And her GPA, she's bringing up her GPA too much, which happens to be a 4.0.
Whoa.
By the way, not buying that she's a 4.0. She seems like she's struggling with every assignment.
Yeah, I mean, either she's just one of those people who, I don't know, works harder than they have to or something, or she's just lying here. I don't know.
Do you think she might be like the Joker from Batman in that she sort of thrives under the chaos?
I did hear her say, sometimes you just want to watch the world burn. So.
She went up to the therapist and she said, you want to know how I got these scars?
She kept asking everybody to smile. It was weird.
My dad was a drinker. She said to Howie, let me put a smile on your face.
Oh my gosh. All right. And then she just had a really, really scary laugh. So yeah. That's her in a nutshell. I thought
it was weird when she made that pencil disappear.
That's enough.
Okay.
That's enough. All right. He then the doctor in charge here, he shifts to a veteran, Howie, who we mentioned earlier, and Howie immediately breaks down and cries before he can finish his story of something you might not know about him. Tim stops him and tries to get him to pace himself, but he also offers a scone.
Yeah, scone gets a lot of play in this episode.
A lot of play. Adam,
I said scone like it's like a person. Yeah, scone. This is a good episode for scone.
Mr. Scone, Dr. Scone?
Yeah, a lot of scones. Yeah, were you gonna ask me something? You're probably gonna ask me if I've had a scone before or something like that.
I was gonna say, do you like them or not?
Yeah, they're all right. Sure.
I like a good scone. Every
Wouldn't
once
be
in a
my
while.
go-to, but yeah.
No. But if someone's offering free scones like Tim just did, I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Later.
You want to know how I got these scones? Oh, really got you.
So stupid.
It's not that bad. Some people really like it.
I like it. I like it a lot. It's just stupid. All right, I'll let you take the next scene while I recover.
Oh, I had a question about this.
Okay, good.
This set. Do you think that this is the same set they used for Davidson's office?
Yes, I was wondering about those like see-through squares.
Yeah, it's just the squares in the back. I kind of think it is, just because like, what are the chances that they're going to have that like 3 years later in another scene? I don't know. Yeah,
they kept that one around and wheeled it out for this episode. So
man, sleuths. Yeah. Okay, picking it up. Did you talk about Tim's Ford story?
This is the next scene right here.
Oh, okay. All right. So later, Tim shares an angry moment, and his angry moment is when he bought something for his Ford, and they had trouble with it, and they wouldn't accept it upon return. He was really frustrated. And then Jill doesn't think he's taking it seriously, and so she kind of gets a little bit reflective, and she shares something personal, and that's that she feels like she has to spell everything out for Tim. Yeah, which, maybe is true. Tim, in turn, says that he feels that Jill is very demanding, and the group is pretty receptive to that, and he really starts to open up. Yeah, they kind of sense it. They don't really like Jill, I guess, seemingly, or they really favor Tim throughout the sessions here.
Well, Tim's a popular on-air persona,
That's true, yeah, star power and such, but the group's really on Tim's side, and people come to his aid, and Jill she's appropriately frustrated.
Yeah, and so in the next scene, it's kind of weird because they do like back-to-back-to-back scenes here where they're, advancing.
Yeah, they keep like cutting though. Yeah, it's like later. I don't know why we need that.
So the doctor, they're talking about expectations, and Tim again kind of deflects and makes a joke, and Jill says that's just like you. You ask a serious question and you deflect to a joke. The doctor, again, Dr. Emery like drills in on Jill, and she says she wishes that he was more in touch with his feelings. She gives this example about how they were on vacation. It was a beautiful night. And she said something like, I never thought I could love anyone as much as I love you. And he said, do you think they rent dune buggies here? Mm-hmm. Not a great response by Tim.
No.
She felt alone.
Yeah.
And this is kind of where they're talking about the demanding stuff even more here. And I guess that kind of combined with what you were saying. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, I think that I feel like Jill is okay it's fair that she's mad about that. That would be kind of a frustrating situation. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's pretty aloof. I think that's worth bringing up later. But and then Tim kind of spins off and goes on his stories, and he wins the crowd over. But
yeah, it talks about like how it was indie weekend and he had no TV or whatever. The women are impressed. Think Jill is very lucky. So we move at home. Jill is mad. She's mad at herself. She's mad at Tim. She's mad at the pizza box. And so she shoves that in the trash can, and Wilson overhears. And Wilson's got some things to say, so we'll let him say them.
Before you go to the clip, how many times have you shoved a pizza box in the trash? Is that once, like you're coffee pouring, or have you done it more than once?
I've never had pizza before.
Oh man, well, we better play a clip, yeah.
Problem, my good neighbor Ed?
The pizza is round, the garbage can is round, why can't the box be round?
Well, Jill, from where I stand, I sense that it's more than the pizza box that's troubling you.
Yeah, everybody's a psychologist. You, Tim, that sniveling wimp Howard.
So I take it the workshop didn't go as swimmingly as you hoped it would.
Complete disaster. Tim spent the entire time complaining about me. He said that I have been criticizing him since the day we were married. He even told that wedding story when we were standing in front of the minister, and he said, I do, and I said, you're mumbling? Well, I couldn't help myself. He's a mumbler.
And you felt compelled to remind of this on your wedding day?
You know what else he said? He said that I was demanding. You don't think I'm demanding, do you, Wilson?
Well, Jill...
Well, come on. I don't have all night. Oh, my God. Did you hear that?
Loud and clear.
Tim's right. I am. I'm a badgering, nagging shrew. All I'm missing is a rolling pin and a bun in my hair. Oh, no, I've got the bun!
Jill, don't you think you're being a little bit hard on yourself?
No, I'm not. The entire group at Dr. Emery's agreed that I am too critical of Tim. And I've been doing it for 17 years. I don't know how to change. I mean, I want to.
Well, Jill, that reminds me of a very famous Chinese proverb. A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Well, maybe the first step should be that I go up and apologize to Tim.
Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, by the way, one question. This Dr. Emery, is he a tall, thin, dark-haired gent?
Yeah, why, you know it?
Oh, very well. As a matter of fact, we competed against each other in a scone bake-off.
Wilson gets the idea that there's more than just pizza going on here when Jill's a little bit angry, and so
there's can't talk. Forget it, Sean. It's gone.
The moment has passed, huh?
Yeah, it's gone. Nope.
All right. So yeah, Jill shares about how the workshop was a disaster. Tim complained the whole time, and says that I've been criticizing him the whole marriage. And then she says, am I demanding? And then Wilson isn't answering right away, so she says, I don't have all night. Yeah. Jill realizes that, yes, Tim was right, and she's really hard on him, and she goes really hard on herself here and tries to change, which I guess is a good step. And Wilson says, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Like that.
And yeah, it's a good advice here. If we had the Wilsometer, which we don't, we threw that out.
We retired that, but if we did, if we had it could always come back if you guys wanted it to. If just one person said they wanted it to, we'd bring it back. That would be pretty hot, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There also was another joke earlier that I didn't quite get. I had to go back a couple of times.
This is a heady home improvement episode.
Yeah. It says something about, germs and Germans, and I was like, what are you guys talking about?
Okay, I get it.
With the Mars rock?
I can explain that one. Yeah, Tim was which we skipped over. He was doing this really lame bit where he was, I don't know what he was imitating, but he was doing voices, and he was talking about them finding a crater on the moon that had, he said Germans, but it was actually germs. It was basically saying there's life on other planets. It's just a wordplay joke. Super funny.
Super duper funny. Good writing.
It's always good when you can not understand 2 or 3 jokes.
I went back 3 times, and that's what I thought they were trying to do, but I thought, that they can't be doing that, are they? And they did. So, all right.
So Jill's inside, heads up to the bedroom. Tim, because he's conditioned to do this, I guess, he is quick to apologize and says that he's sorry. To which Jill says, no, I've been so demanding that you do this even when you're not wrong. And she apologizes to Tim, and they make up, and all is well.
Wow. Yeah, and Tim, there's some funny jokes here where Tim says, eventually you'll figure out how to apologize right because he didn't get a kiss from her or anything, and someday you'll be so good you'll apologize without even meaning it.
Oof, yeah, that was scathing.
Scathing.
Yeah. Next scene, and this is probably, the bedroom is where the episode should have ended, but we do get some more scenes here.
Yeah, Dr. Emery is with Guys Only Night, and Al is there, Bud's there.
Is this the scolding off?
It must be. I don't know what else it would be. So the guy, he talks about how guys typically rib each other, but it mass hostility instead. So Tim kind of makes a joke, and he's not being serious here. Al is trying to share, and he's talking about his weight and flannel jokes that are constantly made at his expense by Tim. And Bud even comes to Al's defense here. So Bud is really...
Bud's there. That's the funniest part. Like,
yeah.
why?
I don't know. He's really clinging to Al ever since bingo night. So
yeah, right.
He came here. And Bud thinks these jokes might be why Al's mom overeats. I don't know where.
I didn't get that really.
Some real armchair psychology going on right here.
Yeah, they also call him Tim the Cruel Man, Taylor, and call it Cruel Time because he's just so rude.
Mm-hmm.
And meanwhile, Howard is he's balling.
He's heartbroken.
Yeah, not so good. Really.
And so they try to dig deep into Tim and figure out what's the problem. You know, something's behind your pain here. Tim fake cries. You think he's gonna break down and say something serious here, but the bad news is we're out of scones.
Yeah. And then we roll credits, but there's like would you call what follows a blooper or not? It kind of just looked like it was cut for time.
Yeah, I think they just tried to include it with the credits so they could fit it in.
Yeah, it's Randy at the table, and this is what we wanted the episode to be about, was Randy's gotcha journalism tactics in the casserole. I don't know what he's talking about. Like, they're using tofu in the lasagna or something?
No, I think the developments was the same story. Instead of it being pork in the pork stew, it's actually tofu.
Okay, yeah.
Which I think would make the ladle sharing okay, because tofu is vegetarian.
Wow. Yeah, I wonder if they'll get into that deeper next episode.
I hope not.
Yeah. And then we roll credits, fade to black, and the title of this episode, again, is Workshop Till You Drop.
Pretty good title, I would say.
Workshop. It is pretty good, all things considered. Probably better than the episode. Jordan, a nickel for your thoughts.
I thought it was okay. Might have some rose-colored glasses after the last episode, which was the worst we've ever covered, probably. So, a little, it was a step up from that. There were some jokes that I liked. We talked about the Bud stuff with Al. That was pretty funny. Mm-hmm. We don't get a lot of episodes where Jill's in the wrong.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily see that. I don't know that she's really demanding as this episode makes it out to be.
Right.
But, at least we get a kind of a different type of plot here, and, she has to apologize and all that kind of stuff. So it was mildly interesting, I would say. It's not like an amazing episode. I'm glad I didn't have to go back and watch it twice, I guess. But it wasn't terrible like the last episode, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I would say this one is very much down the middle for me. It didn't do anything that I really liked, but I can't point to anything and say that, boy, that was really, really bad. I laughed a couple of times. I wish they maybe would have done more with the group therapy, especially the one with the guys at the end. That was kind of dumb. I guess that was sort of bad. But there are some good jokes. It's a different kind of idea. Randy's working for the school paper. I like that development. Bud being kind of down on his luck is sort of funny, but there's not a lot of meat on the bone here. But it's fine. It's like you said, after last week's episode and the community theater old person shtick, I guess this one does seem fair to me. Just fair. Yeah,
just fair.
I was going to ask you about that. What you mentioned with Jill being demanding. Is she overly demanding? I would say she's appropriately demanding, and Tim is just kind of a buffoon a lot of the time. I wouldn't say that she's someone that is overly demanding, though.
I would agree. I think she's just calling her husband to step up to the plate, and he probably should. Like, the story that she gives is completely, like...
legitimate,
I think legitimate, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. It posits something that we don't necessarily think is true, but whatever, I guess.
Sure. Yeah. Sounds good. All right, man. Well, what's next?
Sean's Social Media Corner. If you'd like to reach out to us, go to thehomeandpodcast.com. See our brand spanking new website that's been redesigned. And you can also follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Home and Podcast. If you'd like to support the show, what are we doing bonus episodes of? Either baseball teams or something else? I don't know. Whatever.
Neither one is going to be a bonus episode, but we are doing Big Trouble.
Yeah, that's right. And we did Twilight Zone. We've done several other ones, which you've heard about before. Go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast. Donate $1, just $1 a month. That's less than the cup of coffee that I, poured for that young gentleman.
Like you have any idea how much coffee costs.
I don't know. I mean, in that Twilight Zone episode, they were pretty cheap.
That's true, yeah. Well, the price has gone up a little bit. But,
a little bit, yeah. It depends on if you're going to Starbucks or not.
That's true, yeah.
I don't know. But anyways, $1 a month, that's nothing. Chump change. You can also support us for free if you don't have chump change. Go to your podcasting app or Apple Podcasts, leave us a review. We're up to 38 now, so shout-outs to everybody who has left a review. Again, if you leave a written review, Adam will sing a little jingle for you.
I'm singing songs, baby.
Singing songs. I think you've done poems. I mean...
I'll do everything. I won't do beat poetry, though. I am above that, so don't try to get me to do any beat poetry. Not my thing.
Yeah. Spoken word only.
Yeah, I don't go that way. No, not for me.
All right. Yeah. So that's social media. Adam, what's going on Twitter?
Jordan on Twitter. I mean, as promised, mixing it up with country living. I think they probably had to hire a new social media team because I'm just coming at them so fast and furious.
Burning the house down.
Specifically, I don't really want to. I've been tweeting some stuff at them. It's just fun little banter. I did find something on their website that I thought was really funny, so I did a screen grab and shared it. It was a comment on their contact page, and I'm gonna read it. Okay.
Okay.
So this doesn't have anything to do with us, but I just want to read this because it's funny. All right. So this came from Alina. This is on, like I said, Country Living's contact page, and it's from 6 days ago. I think it is very disrespectful to have the "thanks, but I'll keep wasting my time" verbiage if I choose not to subscribe to dinner suggestions. That is very messed up. I don't waste my time because I am a fantastic cook, and even the notion of my time being wasted if I don't subscribe is rude and disrespectful. Reading your articles could be considered a waste of time, and so is writing this message because it will go unanswered. But be aware that your message of wasting my time if I don't subscribe can be very offensive to some people. This completely turns me off your page and makes sense why I've always avoided it to begin with.
Burn!
Hey, Elena, come on home podcast if you want. Join the alliance.
We'd love to have you bash Country Living live on air.
She does not.
You know what? You see that on a lot of different websites.
It's become really a thing where it's like, no, I want to pay too much for. Where it's like, click here to get a deal. No, I want to overpay on something. It's kind of stupid.
It's a bad move because I think you do what she is positing here, and like basically, even if somebody was interested, they're probably not going to now because you're undermining them. So I don't know. Bad move.
Elena gets it. Zachary Ty Bryan, I retweeted this. It's a picture of him with the NSYNC guys. Kind of fun, kind of a good time. Other than that, not too much going on this week, but we will have some polls next week. So look forward to that.
Sounds lovely. Mm-hmm. Adam, do we need to open the mailbag?
Yeah, Jordan, let's rip open the mailbag.
You've got mail.
All right. First question, Jordan, at Keyshawn Mom. And she kind of answered the question, but I want us to answer it as well. She says, what do you do when you're sick at home with the flu? So that's her question. She says she catches up on her favorite podcast, which is, of course, us. But, Jordan, what do you do when you're sick at home with the flu? How do you get better?
Well, I haven't had the flu in a really long time, but you get your fluids, you get your rest, all that good stuff. I'm a Jell-O fan, so I definitely eat some Jell-O. But yeah, I will lounge. I will try to watch some movies that I like and maybe that I've seen over and over again. Mm-hmm. But I don't really do too much stuff. When I was sick recently, it wasn't the flu, but it was like the first day of March Madness, so that was convenient. So I could just like sit there and feel miserable, but not really feel like I had to move. So that worked out. But yeah, nothing crazy. Just relax. I remember when I was younger, whenever you were sick, it was like, oh, you get to watch Wheel of Fortune. That was like the big thing. I don't know why.
Wheel of Fortune sucks, though.
I don't know why. It was like, 11 o'clock, turn on Wheel of Fortune. But, I don't know, daytime TV, you didn't have streaming, you couldn't go anywhere. So it was either like, watch some VHS or watch Wheel of Fortune. So, I don't know.
I remember one time I was homesick and National Lampoon's Vacation came on, and I'd never seen it before. I was pretty excited about that. That was a memorable sick day. I really enjoyed that.
There's something to be said for just like, I have this time dedicated to do like something like that.
Well, and there's a fine line. Like it helps if you're not too sick. You're just sick enough to have to relax, but not too sick so that you're actually miserable. I want to just say we're not doctors, so if you're sick, you go to the doctor and you get help that way.
This is definitely not medical advice.
What do? Get some fluids. Get a lot of cough drops, Vicks Vapo Rub, and I veg out, bro. I veg out.
I do not like Vicks Vapor Rub.
Oh man, you're missing out. So yeah, I don't know. Obviously go to a doctor if you're sick, but I like to just chill. Get some Vicks Vapor Rub, some cough drops, some fluids, just hang out. Act like a baby. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, that's for sure. What's your brand of cough drops?
Oh, I feel like we have the Ricola around here mostly. I don't know. Probably whatever is like vegan, vegetarian, expensive cough drops. We probably have those.
I remember
not
growing
the cheap kind.
Yeah, I remember growing up using like the Luden's cherry or whatever, which is basically it's just sugar candy. Like I don't even know if it was helpful.
Yeah.
But now we're more of a Halls type of folk. So
yeah, well, that makes sense. Second question comes from @LilDauber, and she's having
Did you say LL Dauber or Lil Dauber the rapper?
I guess it's LL. I thought it was a Lil Dauber. @LilDauber. She's having trouble with the polls, Jordan. She says, have to add the box for voting. Never have seen any. Jordan, this is your mom, and she can't vote in our polls. And my question to you is, are you going to help her?
Well, you said before you brought this up that you wanted me to give your direct number, so I'm going to do that. I'll text.
I just want to understand what's happening because there should be no boxes you have to add. These polls should just be popping up.
That's right. It might be one of those things where she wants to download the Twitter app or something. I'm not sure. It's an enigma and a mystery, and I will get down to the bottom of it.
Well, she only brought you into this world, so the least you could do is help her out.
I never do.
All right. Jordan, I'm ready for you to ask me a question. Another one.
Oh, good, because I've got a lot of them. Adam.
Yeah.
This is a great episode where we talk a lot about therapy.
What? It was not a great episode. We both said it was so down the middle. I've already forgotten it.
Journalism, heartbreaks and breakups, tool maintenance. There's a lot in here that we could talk about.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you about another movie that has to do with couples therapy, and that's Couples Retreat. Adam, what's your thought on Couples Retreat? Do you like that movie? Are you a Vince Vaughn fan? You like Jon Favreau, Faison Love? I know you love Faison Love.
That movie sucks. I remember being really disappointed when I saw it in theaters.
Did we see that together in theaters?
Entirely possible. It's a stacked cast. You have Jason Bateman's in it, Kristen Bell, what's her face from Sex and the City. It's a good cast. But that movie stinks. Yeah, it's not funny. They're just fighting the whole time. I remember there's a scene that they have to play Guitar Hero, so it's instantly kind of dated. You don't ever want to do that in your movie. Just FYI, make a comedy that hinges on something like that. It's just not going to work out.
Wasn't that guy's name Stan with a C or something like that?
Yeah, Stan with a C. That guy he's in The Tick now. He's all right. He's kind of funny. Peter Seraphin and something. It is. That is sort of that joke you just said is sort of funny. But no, the movie kind of sucks. I'm a Vince Vaughn fan. Yeah, I definitely was an even bigger Vince Vaughn fan, probably like most people. But I think he's interesting still to this date. I like most of those people. Jon Favreau, he mostly is doing directing work these days. But Faison Love, I love The Replacements, the Keanu Reeves football movie. That was like my favorite movie when I was 12. And he and his twin brother in the movie are they're guards for Shane Falco. So I do like him, but not so much in that one. It's a fine movie. Jordan, what about you?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't mind it maybe as much as you do, but I was looking, and on Rotten Tomatoes it has an approval rating of 11%.
That checks out. It's pretty bad, man. If you rewatch it, I think you would find it's super boring. It's just like really boring, which is the worst thing a comedy could be.
Yeah, I guess if you're not. Yeah, if it's a comedy and it's just not funny, you're in trouble. So, I don't know. It looks like there were some... there's some weird stuff I'm reading on Wikipedia right now that I don't even want to say on air. But, I do remember seeing that in theaters as well, which makes me think we had to have seen it together, but maybe we didn't. It seems strange that we would see it in theaters separately.
It came out like our freshman year of college, so yeah, I buy that. I'm curious what you don't want to bring up, but...
we'll talk about that off air.
Oh! I see it. Yeah. Okay. We'll
Yeah, you don't want to talk about that,
Oh
huh?
man, no, better not. Yeah, no.
Let's just say this could be a second edition of Legal Eagle, and we're not going to.
yeah, Disney. I don't know if Disney has anything to do with this movie, but they might have to be paying out somebody else. Jordan, I wish that every week you would just take a movie that's kind of like the plot and then ask me what I think of it. I like that kind of question a lot more than any kind of personal questions.
Well, I can make that happen, so we'll see what happens next time it's my turn, okay?
Good question, yeah. Jordan, what are we covering next week?
Burnin' Love.
Oh, sounds sexy.
Home and Podcast After Dark.
Cool. Yeah, all right, well, Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening, and I guess I should say take care.
Take care, everyone.